Are we live? Let's see. I think we are live. Yep, it looks like we're live. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, a real American, back here with a new stream, and that is right. We are live on this beautiful July 31st, 2025. I hope everyone's having a great day. I'm having a great day myself. And we are joined by Mr. Real Texan Politics.
Hello.
Yeah, so a lot happened this morning. You got a couple bombshell reports from the from Tulsi Gabbard, from Chuck Grassley. We gotta talk about the hold on, I gotta pull something up here. I accidentally picked the wrong one. Hold on, Chad. I gotta fix the thumbnail. There we go. Fixed it. Okay, perfect. So yeah, we have a lot to talk about today. We have to talk about the Durham report that came out. We gotta talk about the Harris news from yesterday. So yeah. Okay, Cub, before we get into it, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. All great ways to support the daily content. And if you do have any questions, concerns, or want to support the channel even further, best way is sending super chats via the chat. Again, I read through as much of chat as possible, but usually super chats are the best way your questions answered. And K-Cub for 2, Rap casually used the last stream's thumbnail. Yeah, I just realized that. I fixed it. So, yeah, it should be good now. Should be good. Yeah, we have a lot to talk about today. Hold on, chat. I gotta post this on Twitter. Hold on, chat. Give me a second. I gotta post it on the Twitter. There we go. All right, on time. Yeah, I know that's kind of a new thing. We're on time for once. I know. And John joined. Hello.
On time politics.
Yeah, that's real. We're on time for once, so. Okay, everybody. So, let's start with what was supposed to be the point of the stream, which was the Harris news. For those that don't know, earlier yesterday, Kamala Harris, the former vice president, everyone knows that, she officially declined to run in 2026 for governor of the state of California. Now, there's a lot of speculation as to was she going to run, was she not, and I thought she was going to run. I really thought she could run for governor, but now she is saying no. And you read part of her statement. Hold on, I gotta pull this up. There you go. Okay. So she said, over the past 6 months, I have spent time reflecting on this moment in our nation's history and the best way for me to continue fighting for the American people. Blah, blah, blah. I'm a devout public servant. Yeah, sure. In other words, she said she is not running. She will not be running for the gubernatorial election in California. And now there's a lot of speculation about 2028. Is this the start of the 2028 election already? At least the speculation side. Because...
Well, I don't necessarily disagree with her when she says she's a devout public servant. She spent practically her entire life leeching off of taxpayer dollars.
True.
So yes, it is like a religious devotion for her.
That is a fair point. American Nerd for 2. How far would Harris go to primary? Like a month? Well, yeah, that's going to be the big question now. Is she going to run in 2028? I think she's going to now. I think it came down to what she did in 26. If she wasn't running, there's a 90% chance she runs 28. Which, I mean, who would vote for Harris in 2028? Like, unironically. Who in the Democrat Party would vote for that?
I mean, I guess a lot of the Democrat base would.
But why would you? She just got crushed.
I mean, they think it was stolen, but, you know.
I guess. A glitch Evie for 2. Rap, why did Chris Christie eat Biden last night? I don't know what that's... I don't know. What? Thanks for super chat.
Yeah.
But yeah, so either way with Kamala Harris, she's going to run in 2028. I think it's a fair assumption right now. Right? That's a fair assumption.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I think they're still going to have an open primary,
Oh, yeah.
but one of the takes, I went immediately to Democrats to see what they thought that was going to happen, and the take that I saw most often was they thought Harris was going to win the primary, but that it was going to be a very busy and entertaining Democrat primary next time.
That primary is going to be golden. No matter who wins, that's going to be just that's going to be the greatest thing ever. Meanwhile, we're going to have like Vance and Rubio just being the nominee. So, yeah. That's gonna be kind of a boring Republican primary, but that Democrat primary, oh man, that those debates are gonna be amazing. I mean,
He might get like AOC. I mean, he'll probably get like AOC. I mean, I don't
I don't
know.
know. All right, Roku fan for 2. Thoughts of the North Carolina Senate poll? We'll get to that in a little bit. That Mike Welty has a chance. That poll proves it, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Not a good poll for Roy Cooper. Kind of proves my point about that race. So, speaking of making a comeback, in all seriousness, though, how would a Biden 2028 campaign do? He wouldn't even make it to South Carolina. He would probably die before he gets to that point. So. She's delusional, thinking that the third time will work. Yeah, I mean, why does she think she has a chance now? It didn't work in 2020. It didn't work in 24. She did even worse the second time around. How does anyone think this is going to work the third time? How?
Well, it's off
Because
of the reverse incumbency, like, because the incumbent usually has an advantage, but we've been running off of opposite logic, and the Democrats have convinced themselves that Harris lost because of a reverse incumbency advantage.
Yeah, that's why he lost, or she lost. Yeah,
Well,
sure.
I know it sounds retarded, but this is the actual logic that they've been spinning, and they're saying, well, it was because government's unpopular in general right now across and they like talk about European governments and everything too, and they're like, yeah, so just the natural logic's not working. So if you go and you run against the incumbent, you actually have an advantage as opposed to being the incumbent.
It's a 70 chess move, which that's stupid, guys. The reason they lost was 100 different reasons. The economy sucked, people were sick of immigration, all that stuff. But also because Trump can run on I told you so. That's all he did in 24, remember? He just said, hey, if you would have elected me in 2020, none of this would have happened. That's why he won. Why would anyone vote for Harris? Why? There is no reason to vote for Harris because what has gotten worse? Well, there's some.
I think the other logic is that Harris thinks she didn't really have enough time to fully campaign. I guess.
Which, okay, I can understand that to a lesser extent if it was like September. But didn't she get in July?
She got 3 months. She got August, September, October.
That's plenty of time. That's plenty of time. And she had the media handicap, so she's full of it. All right, K-Cub for 5, a Democrat primary crazy crap show where there is a screaming and a quadrillion mention of Orange Man, GOP primary, Vance dapping up Rubio in Iowa. Yeah, that's for the primary.
Now, from my understanding, I think Harris is going to write a book and then just like go on a speaking tour or something.
Yeah, her book's coming out soon, so that kind of proves it. Anytime they write a book, they're running. They're gonna run. American Nerd for 2. Imagine Zoran runs at 28 after making New York City.
I guess in fairness, Hillary wrote a book and she didn't run. So
yeah,
well,
she was washed at that point. American Nerd for 2. Imagine if Zoran runs at 28. He can't. He literally can't. So don't have to worry about that.
I suppose he could try, but I mean, he's gonna be in the middle of his mayor term, so. Try as in, like, I guess, try to get the Supreme Court to, yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. I don't think they're gonna do anything. Harris with a longer campaign would be way worse. Yeah, I've argued that before. If she would have gotten in, say, April, I think she would have lost New Jersey. Like, unironically, I think she would have lost New Jersey. Because people would have realized right away she's full of shit. She's stupid. And they've realized that later on, but can you imagine we had to deal with her for 8 months in that campaign? Instead of 3. Can you imagine the Brat stuff back in like March last year? That would have been the most insufferable thing ever. That would have been awful, but yeah. Yeah, 2028 is already shaping up to be a shit show. We got Harris more than likely running. I guess Ruben Gallego is going to run too. He's in Iowa. Which, why? Why the hell is Ruben Gallego running? Or potentially going to run? Why?
I guess he wants to be like the token Hispanic of the primary.
He's mad about the clankers.
It's about what, John?
He's mad about the clankers. Didn't you see that Gallego post about the clankers?
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, he's gonna run on a platform of Trump stole all your jobs and replaced them with AI. I'm here to destroy AI, Ruben Gallego.
Which that's not even what's happening. That's
And
not
probably
what's...
apologize because of the deportations, but
Well, that's not what's... The funny thing is that's not what's even happening. They're using AI as an excuse. We're just using people from we're just having H-1B visas replace them. So not good.
I think the bill was more about robocalls or well, not like robocalls, but I mean calling a robot when you're calling something.
All right.
That,
Excuse me, chat.
yeah.
All right. If Zoran ran, he'd lose New York. He just can't run. He just legally can't. So, yeah, not gotta worry about him. Oh, what do you think the results of Steve Hilton versus Katie Porter race will be? Oh, that's California. I don't know yet. It'd still be like Katie Porter plus 20 or whatever. K-Cup for 2, Harris book title, How I Went From Bottom to Top. Are you serious? Is that the name? Please tell me it's a joke.
I no, I don't. I think it is. I don't know what. I mean, let me
Please,
look.
no, don't let that be the name. You could take that like so many different ways. Not good ways either.
It's called 107 days.
Wait, what's it called?
107 days.
Oh. I wonder why it's called that. Gee, I wonder why. That's how many days she was in the campaign for. It's...
I think I mean, yesterday was a pretty big news day. We should probably go over everything that came out.
Hold on.
Redistricting.
One more. Yeah, we'll talk about redistricting in a second. American Yard for 5. Will the Palisade stuff matter at 28? Because that could hurt Democrats' image to independents and moderate voters. Well, we'll get to the Palisade stuff in a second because that's a mess.
It depends on that. I guess how the war is going by then.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
That's really just the answer to that's basically the answer.
Yeah, that's answering most things. But okay, so we'll talk about Texas redistricting. I did make a video on this yesterday, but real Texan, explain the problem with this map. Let me pull this up.
Well, they're banking on Cuellar going to prison, which I still think is most likely going to happen. They basically traded. Well, this
What?
is probably the way I should see it.
What?
Hold on. I froze.
You good there?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the words to say. They didn't draw out. They didn't draw out Lizzie Fletcher.
Yeah. So okay, I got the map right here.
Or I guess they technically did, but well, apparently they technically drew her out, but not really. As in, like, she lives in the 38th now, but like right across the street from the 7th.
Yeah. So okay, this is the map for those that don't know what's going on, and this map sucks. I mean, it's a decent starting point, but why the hell did they just bank on 2024 continuing forever? Why? Because that's the entire strategy. They were banking on the Trump march is holding forever, which I think it's entirely possible. But you're going to tell me with a straight face that it's automatic.
It's probably more accurate than making the 34th district a Democrat pack, that was the original goal. The original goal when redistricting in 2021 was to make the 34th district a Democrat pack. From Brownsville to
stupid,
or like Brownsville, McAllen up north.
Yeah, but like this map is just stupid because like, hey, Henry Cuellar is going to win that seat unless he goes to jail. The only way he loses.
I still think he will. His trial's in September.
Come on, make a deal with Trump. I want to see that. I want to see switch parties.
I kind of don't. I want him to go to prison so we can flip the seats.
I want to see it because he would have to do everything Trump says to do. So, but yeah. So overall, guys, the map is pretty.
But they took out the Austin San Antonio Snakes, so now the 35th district is a suburban San Antonio seat.
I saw that, and people are crashing on about that. It's like, really.
Well, it means that you'll probably be running Jay Furman or maybe Brandon Hart. I don't know what part of San Antonio he lives in, though.
Yeah, so again, it's not the worst map, but I've seen so many other maps where people made like 35-2 or something. It's just something.
Yeah, I mean that would have been unrealistic.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
some of
know.
those are probably some of those are more comical.
But
They didn't crack El Paso, which I think that might go against VRA splitting El Paso because I think that dilutes Hispanic majority there, even though that pretty much the entirety of West Texas is majority Hispanic.
yeah, I don't know. This
Um,
whole thing is just there's so many problems here. It could again, it's not bad for a starting point, but this should not be the final map. This should not be the final map whatsoever for 2026.
I would have, if I were them, I would have probably kept the snake and then drew out Lizzie Fletcher. Apparently, they were like very scared of Lizzie Fletcher running statewide, which I don't know why they would be.
Why? Who cares?
Because okay, I don't know why she wouldn't even win the primary. She's not that well known, but she's like the most generic Democrat in the state.
Oh. Okay. Couple super chats to read. Um, American Nerd for 3. Think DeSantis Kemp will run against Vance at 28. Kemp's basically a guarantee. DeSantis, I don't know, but if he runs, he's gonna get 1%.
I think DeSantis will. I mean, I know Cryptid Politics is the source for this, but apparently Casey doesn't want to run for governor because they want to run for president again.
These people are freaking delusional. You could be the VP.
Voter probably. Well, I mean, I would say DeSantis is probably the more delusional one. I guess that's what you mean.
They're all delusional.
Yeah.
Gabriel for 2. Is DeSantis gonna save the House again? He might. If we get like 4 or 5 seats from Florida, yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, you probably will.
Skywalker for 2. Harris book. I came from middle class family. Yeah, it'd be the same crap like that. Yeah, I came from middle class family. I grew up in a middle class family, even though she didn't.
You know, when she announces her run for president, that's going to be the first thing that she says in the ad.
Yep, it's gonna. Oh gosh, it's gonna happen again. Are they gonna bring back
I
Brad
grew up in a
Summer?
middle class family, and now the middle class is being screwed over or something. I don't know.
Are they gonna bring back the Brat stuff?
I don't think so, because I mean, that was probably more just to promote an album.
All right.
Yeah, literally just to promote a pop album.
Yeah, that worked well.
That album will be like 4 years old by then. I don't think they're gonna bring it back, but they'll come up with something.
But the problem
They
is
will come up with something else probably.
you're talking about very stupid people. That's the truth in this. Very stupid people involved. So, American Nerd for 2. By the way, why is it Chuck Grassley helping Trump? Yeah, that's stupid. Grassley. I have no clue what he's doing in this committee. Though he did release principles. But they did release a pretty big bombshell today, and this broke a little while ago. And well, we may finally see people get arrested. Okay, I don't want to get any hopes up, but did you guys hear about this? You guys hear about the Durham stuff?
I don't know, but we also have breaking news.
What?
Josh Weil, a teacher who planned to challenge Ashley Moody for Florida's U.S. Senate seat, is dropping out of the race.
Wow.
Because, and I quote, he's too sick to run.
Bruh. Okay.
Though he does actually have a disease.
All right. So,
Weil suffers from rhabdomyolysis, I don't know, a condition that causes his muscles to break down. He'd been hospitalized in the past, and the early travel of his campaigning that caused the symptoms to flare back up. So, yeah, that's why he's dropping out.
All right, Skywalker for 5. Do you think Elon will still donate to GOP candidates? He's been quiet about that. I don't know. We'll see.
I think he's only going to donate to Massey next year.
Well, there's a funny report.
He's going to get Massey like $1 billion.
Speaking of Massey, there's a funny report that came out, which we'll look at. But all right, so earlier today, we did have the Durham annex be declassified, and apparently, according to the FBI, which you know how the FBI is, apparently these documents were in burn bags. Apparently, this was like in a secret room in the back, and it was supposed to be never released, and they found it. You guys hear about this?
Because no, actually. Also, I just realized. So Josh Weil raised $15 million for the Senate race.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So, anyways, going back to that real quick. So, looks like so far there are no candidates right now. So
Florida at this
one
point
candidate dropped out. But there's a lot that filed paperwork. It seems like they filed paperwork and then they just stopped after Weil entered race. But
Okay, so
Seems like the biggest candidate right now is Alan Grayson. He's a former congressman for Florida's 9th.
uh,
Perennial candidate. He's probably the highest profile candidate right now,
yeah,
but he's a
we're
perennial
gonna win
candidate.
Florida. I don't know. We'll see.
But in the publicly expressed interest, I know you want me to shut up, but in the publicly expressed interest, Alexander Vindman.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because I think he lives in Florida now.
Why does he live in Florida? Wouldn't he be like, no, it's too conservative here or some shit?
I guess he. I mean, I know Eugene lives in. Eugene lives in Virginia,
Yeah, it's
but
Virginia. Yeah.
I'm guessing he lives in Florida now. I don't know. It doesn't say in his Wikipedia. Oh, yeah, and apparently he called Christine Nome a fascist bitch and told her to fuck off in a
Bruh.
Twitter post. So
Yeah, I
that'll
saw
probably
that.
be used as to boost his campaign.
Okay.
I don't know.
K
I
cup.
think if Inman runs, he'll win the primary because all the resistance will get behind him. I
Okay.
don't think there's a big Hispanic candidate. I don't know. I need to shut up.
Yeah, K cup for 2. If she pulls a Bill Clinton 92 and says MAGA, she might. I don't know. We'll see. Skywalker for 5. What's a good map for Texas? If you could show us. I can't really show you guys it, but there is a couple where it's literally like 32-5 or whatever, and it's like R plus 20 seats, which I know that's kind of pushing it, but still, you could do it. So, but okay.
I can probably show you a map that I made, or kind of made.
Okay, we got to talk about this
Well,
bomb.
there's a map that someone else made that I edited and then basically posted. So
Okay,
yeah.
so we got to get into this stuff that just got released by the I think it was the DOJ. I forgot who it was. John, you hear about this? Are you still here?
Yep. So the Durham annex has
Yeah.
been declassified. It has a message from Leonard Bernardo.
Yep.
Sending over to, and basically what the message says is Hillary Rodham Clinton approved, quote unquote, Julia's idea about Trump and Russian hackers hampering U.S. elections. This was sent on July 27th, 2016, which is 4 days before the FBI opened up their probe, which means that Hillary Rodham Clinton, in her election campaign, the George Soros's mega donor group, because those are the people communicating, as well as Obama, Brennan, and Comey, all knew about this before they started the FBI probe, and they approved it. And the what's been released is basically a document explaining the tactical advantage of making this story.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, they're all implicated. Everybody is implicated in this, including Hillary Clinton's team, including George Soros's team. And yeah, it does seem like a smoking gun to many people. That's why
I think it's a real one. This ain't just a bullshit. Like, oh, it could be. This literally says, and this is a George Soros person, I think. This Leonard guy, I think he's like a George Soros stooge. But he said, Hillary Rodham Clinton approved Julia's idea about Trump and Russian hackers hampering U.S. elections. That should distract people from her own missing email, especially if the affair goes to the Olympic level. The point is making the Russia play a U.S. domestic issue. Say something like a critical infrastructure threat for the election, the fuel menace, since both POTUS and the Vice President of the United States, which would be Biden at that point, have acknowledged the fact IC would speed up searches for evidence that is regrettably still unavailable. So even Biden's implicated in this. It's everybody. It's the entire Democrat machine.
Yes.
The entire Democrat machine is implicated. A quick super chat. New Canaan Guardian for 5. When do we use the Second Amendment? Okay. Listen, we'll get the Epstein stuff in a little bit, but let's chill on the Second Amendment. Let's not go that far. But thanks to super chat. Okay. Either way, though, this is the one email. There is a couple other ones, but yeah, this just proves it. We have proof that they planned this for months. They knew about this, and this is July 2016. God knows what's in November, but go on.
If you look at the last sentence in this paragraph, in absence of direct evidence, CrowdStrike and Threat Connect will supply the media, and GRU will hopefully carry on to give more facts. So, key phrase, in absence of direct evidence. So, as they're writing this memo, talking about the political advantages of starting this probe, they admit they're not going to have any evidence and that they're going to have media produced for them by multiple companies. So this is all being set up in real time in front of your face.
Yeah.
And that's I think that is one of the other big things. It's the start and the end of this paragraph that you have on screen that kind of really show how illegitimate this was and how much of a farce it was. And yeah, ultimately people, this implicates so many different people. It should have somebody go to prison. You would think somebody should go to prison over this.
Skywalker for 10 with the redistricting of red states. We'll get back to that. Just got some super chats. With redistricting of red states and the upcoming 2030 census, that'll benefit the GOP. I believe the Democrats are screwed in 2030s and even 2040s. Yeah, the census is going to kill that party. Which I think that we should get a new
well,
one.
I will also say, I think 2030 redistricting, you're going to see pretty much every Democrat state try to gerrymander.
But they're already maxed out in most states. What are they going to do?
Oh, and the states that they're not maxed out, they'll try to max out.
I guess. Caden for 2, no one will be arrested. I'm officially blackpilled. I know that's still a concern, but the way Tulsi Gabbard and them are talking, it sounds like they are taking this serious. You know, they're not playing a game with it. It sounds like they're like, oh shit, this is a big deal. American Nerd for 2, this is why I voted for our retribution, yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, this kind of confirms what we've been hearing for years now, that this was an orchestrated coup attempt by Obama and Clinton. In that whole party. That whole apparatus, they knew this was bullshit. A reminder, I think it was 2 weeks ago, that's when the first reports came out from Gabbard. I think it was like a week ago. That's when they dropped some of the leak stuff where it's like, yeah, the reports show nothing damning, and out of nowhere, President Obama said, no, redo the entire report. And that was back in December 2016, like 2 months before Trump got in. So this was a half a year's worth of effort to coup the president, or the future president. This is bad.
Well, yeah, and you know, when it piles, to me, what really like strikes the core of it is when you pile everything on top of it. You know, everything else, the Hillary Clinton email scandal at the time, the 2016 manipulation, they tried to take the country from you. They did not succeed, but they tried to take the country from you. We still got Clinton +2 in that election in terms of popular vote. So they manipulated the votes in that election. They manipulated the votes in the 2020 election.
Legally.
They tried.
Legally.
They tried to, they obfuscated in 2020 their own bad material. They manufactured imaginary bad material for Trump in 2016, and then they hid their own bad material in the Hunter Biden laptop story in 2020. And after failing to take the country from you in 2016 and succeeding to take the country from you in 2020, they tried to continue taking the country from you in 2024 by imprisoning and or ending the life of our candidate. Okay, so this is now 3 election cycles in a row. This has been 8 years, and I just ask everybody in chat, because some people in chat, and sometimes when we get into our conversations, we still act like as if like this is just like some sort of like normal political game that we're playing. When are you guys going to realize it's like no, the people on the other side, it's a fucking evil cabal of oligarchs that want to actually just keep the country from you permanently, and they want to censor all of your speech. They want to take away all of your rights. They want you to be cattle. They want you to rent homes, never own a home. And they want you to work, 2 part-time gig jobs, 3 part-time gig jobs to support whatever meager family that you can raise. Like, these people want you in the dirt, in the ground, and they want to make it as hard as possible for you to ever like have any future that's meaningful or worth striving towards. I just please wake up. Please wake up and realize like the other side is evil.
Yeah, the other side is objectively evil. I mean, there's no way to put it. I mean, the Republicans are stupid, but listen, at least sometimes they do decent stuff. Sometimes, maybe. They're just incompetent. Democrats, they literally are just, this is what they do behind the scenes. This is what we know as of now. God knows what other reports are going to drop the next couple weeks. God knows what they're going to find. And Nari for 2, California not only maxed out, its population going down, not up. Yeah, that's another reason I think we will have a pretty good 2030s. A Skywalker for 5, I can't wait till Florida becomes like Oklahoma, where the Democrat Party there is officially dead. Oh, that party's already dead. The Florida Democrat Party's already dead. They don't even try anymore. So,
I know.
okay. But this is the other email. There's a couple other documents that came out. American Nerd for 2. Democrats will still claim the solo conspiracy. Yeah, they're going to try to say it's Epstein or something, but this is such a... Objectively, this is an awful look. Because it implicates a president, implicates a former Secretary of State, the vice president, possibly, potentially the entire DNC. Because this other email says, the media analysis on the DNC hacking appears solid. This is an important story because it will be the first time that we know of that a state deliberately used the infiltration and publication of data to interfere in the U.S. election. At the same time, polarization is on the table. I've been a bit surprised that nobody has mentioned this 18-month-long story yet, blah, blah, blah. Julie says, I don't know who Julie is, but apparently a staffer, I think. But, she said, it will be a long-term affair to demonize Putin and Trump. Now it is good for a post-convention bounce. Later, the FBI will put more oil into the fire. Outcome is far from clear as Americans are more keen on their own woes, and Hillary's hardly good looking as far as credibility is concerned. Anyway, things are ghastly for U.S.-Russian relations. Holy shit.
So Julie was Julianne Smith, which she was a foreign policy advisor.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so right here, they're admitting the FBI will put more oil into the fire. Holy shit. How can anyone say this isn't a big deal? This is a direct email to... It implicates so many people, and this is what I think they're going to try to do. Because a lot of people that we want arrested... This is the way to do it. Because they're all involved. The Democrat Party was involved with a scam. I mean, there's more, I think. This is another document, I think. A couple more, actually. Yeah, Tulsi Gabbard actually had a whistleblower come forward, and she says the whistleblower reveals how they were threatened by a supervisor to go along with the Obama-directed Russia hoax intelligence assessment, even though they knew it was not credible or accurate. The whistleblower refused. Yesterday, we released the whistleblower's first-hand account of what happened in the crafting of the January 2017 ICA, blah, blah, blah. In other words, everyone's involved. Fire everybody. Fire everybody involved. Get people arrested. Enough's enough. Now, my question is, how deep does this go? Like, is it just the entire DNC that was involved with this? I don't know.
Well, here's what we know. We know that the entire Obama administration was involved. Our intelligence agencies were involved. We know Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign team was involved, and we know that George Soros's mega donor group was involved. Those are the people that we know are involved based off of this documentation.
Yeah. K-Cup for 5. Tulsi, we have signed documents proving that Russia did not alter elections and that this was smear campaign. Democrats for Russia altered these documents. Yeah, that's the new copium. It was a conspiracy by Russia. They played 7D chess all along. They're just so good at their jobs that they played 8D chess to tank the files, whatever. It's just stupid. If that's bullshit, why did the Biden administration get rid of these files? Why? That's my question. They had to know these existed, they just didn't get rid of them? Seems weird.
They thought, well, it's not weird if you think that you are going to successfully steal the election every single time the election happens. If you, again, I'm not making any claims, but what I'm saying is that if you're in power and you believe you're going to keep yourself in power by any means necessary, you're not really worried.
That's fair. All right, Skywalker for 2. Bonnie can learn from Tulsi. Yeah, she can. All right, and there are other reports about this because, Catherine Heritage, I think that's her name? Heritage, I think. Well, anyway, she also got more documents from this, and it's just as bad. In fact, it's actually even earlier. There's some documents from, I believe, like March of 2016. Yeah, right here. The March 2016 memorandum, which was in Russian, blah, blah, blah. During confidential contacts on March 5th with Leonard Bernardo, Soros Fund Eurasian Regional Director, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, chairperson of the Democratic National Committee, characterized developments of the pre-election campaign of Hillary Clinton in the following way. In relation to the consensus reached among the Democratic Party leadership regarding the candidacy of Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama sanctioned the use of all administrative levers to remove the possibility of possible negative effects from the FBI investigation of cases related to the Clinton Foundation and the email correspondence in the State Department. Holy shit. Just more. There you go, everybody. Barack Obama said, yeah, we're going to just stop with all the investigations. A two-pronged DP in opposition is focused on discrediting Trump through debates and propaganda activities based upon his weak points, such as his uncontrollable temperament, questionable instances in business dealings, absence of diplomatic skills, and lack of political experience. Oh my gosh. Among other things, the Clinton staff with support from special services is preparing scandalous revelations of business relations between Trump and the quote-unquote Russian mafia. Currently, they're studying his connections with some Russian people. Oh my god. Yeah, can we arrest these people? Can we? Anybody? Can we arrest these people once and for all already? This is stupid. But this is real. These are real documents that Chuck Grassley and Tulsi Gabbard, they just dropped. They dropped them. It's like, yeah, they knew about it. And they knew about the FBI and CIA involved with it. So, okay, let's take a head count. Clinton's involved, Obama. I don't get why... John, can you explain how the Soros stuff is affiliated with this? I'm confused by that. Why are they involved?
I believe that Leonard is connected to Soros
that's right.
through one channel. I believe that is the connection. I can double check it. But yeah, no, everybody's talking about these documents revealing a Soros connection.
What a surprise. Okay, yeah, that Leonard guy was a Soros person, I guess.
Yeah.
They're so blatant with it almost feels like the documents have to be fake. No, they're just that insane. They're just that batshit crazy. The referrals are on Pam Bondi's desk. Gosh. Yeah, it's real.
By the way, I would like to get into some other news from yesterday. That was a big news day.
Yeah, there's a lot to happen. But yeah, this whole situation with the documents, this is the start, by the way. Apparently there's even more being dropped. I mean, someone's got to go to prison for this. How can you say no to this? How? I doubt she's ever at her desk. Yeah, it's real. Pam Bondi's probably the one misleading Trump on multiple things, like they can't prosecute Obama, they can, or that the Epstein documents are corrupt and unreliable. I think it's part of what's happening, but there's probably more.
All right, so let's see what happened here yesterday.
Yeah, so overall, guys, John, what do you think's going to happen with the documents? Do you think's going to happen? Or is nothing ever going to happen? We're going to win again?
I believe Trump wants something to happen. I believe he's stated he wants something to happen rather explicitly. More than memes and more than everything else, I think Trump has explicitly stated he wants people arrested. Now, will people get arrested? I think that... I'm going to say that I don't know, and you may think that's too optimistic. Some people are going to be like, oh, well, nothing ever happens. Nothing ever happens. It might just be the time for something to happen now. We may have finally come to that point, and if Tulsi's going to continue releasing documents, then I don't see what you do at the end of all of this except for start prosecution, start probes, start special prosecutors, all of these things. So that's what I would say. I do not know, but if we're going to get more stuff, you'd expect that at the end, once we've revealed everything we're going to reveal.
Yeah. I mean, this is the start of it. Apparently, there's even more coming out, which this is already a smoking gun. You talk about a smoking gun. There's nothing more clear than this. You have an email implicating everybody involved 5 months before the election, saying, talk about Russia, and saying, yeah, we gotta add fuel to the fire, and then we gotta make something up quick, because this Orange Man is surging. American Nerd for 10. I think what's really going to annoy and piss me off is that all the Democrats and liberals will continue to cope and say that this whole fake, that Trump and us are the real threats despite the evidence. Well, yeah, that's the Democrat Party now. They don't care.
Well, no, like the only response to anything that's been revealed is, oh, well, Trump touches children. That's literally all they say. They just keep saying Trump touches children. Trump touches children. You go on X and you can see it right now. You don't have to go on Blue Sky. Just go on X.
Yeah.
That's all they say.
Take home for 2. Wait till we prosecute Trump. We can prosecute Trump, but not Obama. Yeah, funny how that works. Prosecute Trump for doing nothing, but we can't touch Obama for literally trying to coup a president. That's insane. That's our justice system, everybody. All right, fire Susie Wiles and Bondi. I agree. You gotta get a shake up at the White House. Just my opinion. Wiles has not been that. She was good for the campaign, but yeah, she should not be the chief of staff now. She had her chance.
All right, so let's get into some of yesterday's news.
So yeah, I guess we could start with the stuff that broke earlier yesterday. It's about Canada, or actually no. Do we start with Canada? Do we start with which one do we start with? There's a lot of stuff.
Well, I will also point out, I guess, some minor news, but it's pretty big still. Vernon Jones might be running for Congress in my college.
No.
That being said, there's an alternative. A candidate just announced today, Houston Gaines, who is a state representative from Athens.
Okay. So hopefully
he's 30 years old, so he's a very young guy. I thought Jody Heiss could probably run, and he could maybe, but I think he does work for something now, so probably not.
All right. So let's talk about the
I did want to say one thing about the North Carolina poll that you guys were.
Oh yeah, that's a good segue, actually.
Yeah. Apparently it's like an R+8 sample or something.
I heard about that. I mean, with samples in North Carolina, you gotta be careful because yeah. But even then, they have Roy Cooper's name ID at 93%, and according to Victory polling, which again, you could argue maybe it's right-leaning, but with everything with party registration going on, maybe it is R+8, we'll see. But Michael Whitley's at 58% name ID. And Roy Cooper right now is only up by 1. 44%,
well,
that's
right.
it.
So this is something really important, and it makes the kind of lean a little bit, it makes it not important, because think about it. If 16% of people on multiple different polls, whether it's Victory polling or whoever else is doing the poll, if 16% of the electorate doesn't know enough about the candidates, but there's one candidate that's very well known, that candidate's probably already hit their ceiling. That candidate's probably already hit their ceiling in regards to like what they're doing. Is 90 something percent people know Cooper, and he's got 44 points. He's not going to get much higher than that. Then so that 16%, once they learn who Whatley is, you will see his points go up. So if he's even within a point, 2 points, 3 points after a well-funded senatorial campaign, he's going to be able to eclipse Cooper, and I genuinely, I'm a lot more optimistic about it. I was optimistic about it when we thought Laura Trump was running. I'm still optimistic about it with Whatley running. I think it's going to get better and better as the months go on.
Yeah,
and I think Whatley's going to eclipse him.
That's the problem. And we've been seeing this with a lot of polling. Like you know how Democrats are quote unquote surging like the generic ballots or whatever. Every poll, it's as if they're capped at like 45%. Basically across the board, not just one state. Everywhere it's like 45%, Republicans at 40%. When you look at the undecideds, they're going to lean to the Republicans by a lot. Listen, I don't know what's going to happen for 28 or 26 for sure, but Democrats have a big problem right now. Even their top candidate with universal name ID is barely cracking 44%. And this is North Carolina. It's like R+3. So, yeah. American Nerd for 5. I swear to God, if Bonnie screws this up despite all the evidence and Trump still does not impeach her or fire her, then Johnson should get the House to impeach her. Yeah, probably. Skywalker.
Oh, I mean, he could, but Trump would probably, he'd probably want to primary out Johnson.
Oh, you're primary out everybody, but Skywalker for 2. I believe we could flip Michigan Senate and governor. Yeah, I think we can. We'll see though.
Depends on who wins the Senate primary in Michigan, but
yeah. 7% of North Carolinians don't know Roy Cooper. Well, with some people, they don't know their governor, which is sad, but they don't.
It's probably, to be completely honest, it's probably black voters.
Probably. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it's like boomers or something. I don't know. All right.
I mean, depending, honestly,
Or young people.
it could depend on the race.
We'll see. All right. But yeah, guys, I do think overall with North Carolina, Whatley starts in a much better position than people thought. Now, I'm not saying it's for sure going to win, but if you're Roy Cooper, you're capped out at 44% already. And you already got 93% name ID, and Whatley's at 58. Now, this is a time for Whatley to lock in and like make a bunch of ads and stuff. Don't do this crap of, oh, I'm not going to run till the middle of next year. Like, don't do that. But
anyways, we should probably get into trade deals because there was a lot of trade deal news yesterday.
Yeah. So overall,
we have
guys,
trade deals with South Korea. Oh, sorry.
No, I just want to say overall, guys, Whatley's a good position. But yeah, let's get the trade stuff because there was a lot that happened yesterday. And I think this morning too.
Oh yeah, we have trade deals with South Korea and Pakistan. Trump is starting to sour on India in favor of Pakistan. That's probably the biggest news that I should.
Yeah, we got to talk about India. What the hell happened there?
I think Trump's starting to pull a Nixon here.
Yes, so
remember, I think Nixon in the 1970s backed Pakistan in a war with India.
It was something weird like that. But yeah, for those that don't know, President Trump is going to put a 25% tariff on India. And he basically said, listen, you're working with Russia. He said, I don't care what India does with Russia. They can take their dead economies down together for all I care. We have done very little business with India. Their tariffs are too high, among the highest in the world. Likewise, Russia and the U.S. do almost no business together. Yeah, so India is
Trump despises Putin now, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
He started to go full Ukraine mode.
Well, I mean, I know people don't want to war with Russia. I understand that. Like, I don't want that either. But President Trump was elected to stop the war, not be a Russian show.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty much proven that the war is not going to end.
Yeah.
At least not anytime soon. So right now, I don't think Trump was ever against Ukraine aid. Because, he supported a lot of candidates that were for it, and I'm pretty sure Trump probably was in favor of it himself to some extent. He just didn't, but I think he also just didn't want us to pay for all of it.
The distinction is that we were getting literally nothing out of the aid. Look, when Europe was doing deals with Ukraine, France was getting agricultural land, Poland was getting promises with ports and stuff, other people were getting stuff, the UK was even getting stuff out of it. Everybody was getting a piece of the Ukraine pie, and the biggest contributor, the United States, was getting jack squat. That is Trump's problem with like the original Ukraine assessment. He wanted something out of it, and the mineral deal is supposed to be what we're getting out of it.
Yeah, and we got that. But now it's
not worth what we've put into Ukraine, but it's something, which is what Trump wanted.
And a crazy thing I've been hearing, all these anti-war people are losing their minds over Ukraine, which I want the war to Ukraine to end. I think it's a pointless war. I've said that many times. Just end the war. People are dying for no reason. These people are supposedly anti-war. But they're literally saying, oh, we have to coup Zelensky out of office. I've heard that a couple times now. The supposedly anti-war right part of some of it, not all of it. They're saying we got to use the CIA to coup Zelensky. What do you think's going to happen if Zelensky gets out of power? What do you think's going to happen?
The war would end.
Yeah, that, I guess. But that would be a freaking mess if he got couped out. I know he's not that popular anymore, but still. Stupid. American Nerd for 3. Hasn't the U.S. always backed Pakistan over India? No, not really.
No, not as... I think... our relations with Pakistan... it's never been horrible.
Yeah, Pakistan's always been, neutral, kind of. India, though, it's been back and forth quite a bit. Random Polish guy for 5. My brain turned off when you were talking trade. I thought you meant MLB trades. That's what's in my head. Go Rangers. Yeah, MLB trade deadlines today. I forgot about that. Man Milk for 5. I know the campaign manager and manifesto. I'm going to my old high school to kick off a speaking tour, hoping to win the race for Maryland House of Delegate District 17. Okay. Good luck, dude. Good luck in Maryland 17. Logos for... What?
Sorry, go ahead.
Logos for 5. AstraZeneca plans to invest $50 billion in America for medicines manufacturing and research and development. Go Trump. I saw that, yeah. So we're getting all these industries to come back to America right now. That's pretty
Definitely, we're encouraging pharmaceuticals. We couldn't get that out of the EU deal because France, Germany, and Ireland have a shit ton of pharmaceuticals, and they don't want to let go of that industry. But we're getting pharma investments from a bunch of other places we should have been getting it from. By the way, a little bit more context for the India thing, since nobody's mentioned it. Reuters is reporting that India's state government, state-owned refiners have paused Russian oil purchases in the face of the looming 100% retaliatory tariffs from Trump.
Really?
Yeah, this was posted at 6:14 p.m. GMT +5, so like very recently it was posted from Europe that this was happening. So this I put the screen cap in general, but let me try to pull up the actual article.
I see it.
Let's see.
Is it this one? The Reuters one?
Yeah.
Okay. Really?
Yeah. So that's a really big deal. They were a massive purchaser of Russian oil. Um, but it's just kind of a question of, let's see. India,
This is
Russia.
not good. If you're Russia, you're in a pickle now because now you're losing India possibly for your oil. That's not good. That's your economy right there because of the oil and stuff. I know and that's why Trump made the deal with the EU to screw Russia even more over. This is going to get bad for Russia now economically because if they're not able to trade with anybody, they can't sell anything.
That's basically what Trump wants to do. He basically wants Russia to suffer in order to come to the table.
I know these idiots are saying, "Oh, the Trump's gonna cause an economic crash by doing this." Listen, really, we're doing this again.
I mean, I think Trump even threatened to like strike Russia if they don't do anything
Nah,
or
he's
if
not
they
gonna
don't
do
come to the
that.
table. He could, maybe.
Okay.
Well, as it seems like now, based off of some of Reuters' other reporting, I'm not saying I trust everything Reuters says, but the other thing that they're reporting is they're saying India is acting like they're still at the negotiating table with Trump. That they're kind of ignoring the comments and trying to just continue negotiating. So,
Well, Trump's not happy with him, so
yeah, they're not happy with them.
Also in trade deals, I think Trump is not happy with Canada.
We gotta talk with this. Listen, I'm getting so sick of this, guys. I want to be clear about one thing. I want the war between Israel and Palestine and whatever to end. I'm not rooting for other side. I just want the war to end. But now this is starting to really piss me off a little bit. This is starting to annoy me.
So basically, Canada recognized Palestine because the UK is supposed to do the same in October or September if the stuff continues.
Yeah, right here. This is something I just don't get. Like he said, wow, Canada has just announced that it is backing statehood for Palestine. That'll make it very hard for us to make a trade deal with them. Oh, Canada. Why? Why does this matter? What Canada does?
I think it's just leverage.
Well, okay, here's the thing. I mean, Trump, even with his criticisms of Israel and the government, he is still a massive Zionist.
I know.
He's still a massive Zionist. I don't think he's ever supported a two-state solution for Palestine, and I don't believe he does. I think the rumors of, I mean, any chance of him recognizing Palestine are basically zero now.
There was a chance
if they existed in the past, are basically done.
There was.
He may have considered it, but he's probably been talked out of it. And I mean, again, he's always supported Israel in the war, and I think he does support annexing Gaza and eliminating Hamas, freeing the hostages, all of that. I think he does want a single Israeli state. He just doesn't like the civilian casualties. And I think he even warned a Jewish donor. That's another piece of news from today. That MAGA is starting to turn on Israel. Which he's not happy about because, I mean, he wants full support of Israel and he's not really happy with the base.
I understand, like,
liking it, but
the reason people are getting upset about this is the way Israel's handled themselves. People supported them early on for a reason because it was they got attacked. It was the self-defense thing. That's why a majority of people supported them. But come on, how can anyone excuse how they're like bombing churches or bombing mosques? It's like, really?
And I don't think Trump's happy about that. But regardless, he is still full-on Israeli support.
Listen, and this is where the conspiracy stuff starts, but I don't get the Canada stuff. Who cares what they're doing? I mean, the UK is literally about to freaking recognize them. And which I'm hearing Trump may have.
Oh yeah,
been
and that
fine
might
with
also that might also harm trade deals with them.
Well,
too.
apparently Trump was fine with that. I don't know. This whole thing is just bizarre.
Well, I think he's fine with it because it's not till September, so he's probably going to try to get the UK to back out of it.
All right.
We'll see.
K count for 5. Canadians, Prime Minister, we are dying, our country's on fire, our economy and healthcare, please. Carney, we recognize Palestine. Yeah, but still, it's super to focus on this. American Art for 2, I think. What?
I genuinely think that Trump doesn't care what Canada recognizes or doesn't recognize. I think he just wants more negotiating leverage. This is what Trump did to Europe. This is what Trump did to Japan. He just uses a bunch of other issues like national security and other things to try and push his trade agenda onto other countries. I think he's just trying to screw over Canada harder, and he's using the whole Palestine thing as an extra piece of leverage.
American Nerd for 2. I think Trump likes to troll Canada. Yeah, that's part of it, but still just... You gotta... The way this looks is not a good look. That's what we're trying to get at. The PR of this whole thing, is, especially the last 2 to 3 months, has been bad. But... Come on. You can do better than this when it comes to PR stuff. But there is a development coming out of the Middle East that's actually surprising. And it does relate to the Israeli war because... Apparently, the Arab world is telling Hamas to go fuck themselves. Arab world, Hamas. Let's see. Yeah. So we do actually have... Hold on, I gotta find it. Yeah, so according to the Telegraph, which is kind of shitty. By the way, according to them, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt are urging the Hamas to disband to enable a Palestinian state. Interesting. So the Arab world is getting behind Israel, I guess?
Not really. I think they don't. I mean, none of them really ever support Israel, but
I know, but this is the first time they ever said something about Hamas like this.
I think they want the war to end, and I think
guess.
a big part of that is, Hamas themselves.
They're not doing themselves any favor. They just that people understand when I criticize Israel or whatever, that's not me saying Hamas is good. They're not. But it just both sides suck. They're both doing shitty things, and it's bad. But I do wonder something. What? Hear me out on this one. You remember how a couple months ago we were hearing reports that Trump may recognize Palestine? Remember that?
Oh yeah, I mean, those are probably off the table though.
Well, I have a funny theory. I don't think it's gonna happen. But what if Trump made a deal with the Arab world and say, listen, if you guys get rid of Hamas, somehow force them out of there, we might make a deal with Palestine.
That's possible. I could see that.
I'm not saying that's what happened, but it's so weird because this happened like overnight, where it's like the UK, the Dutch, the Canadians, all of them are recognizing Palestine, and out of the blue, you have Qatar.
I think the final nail in the coffin is the starvation stuff that's coming out.
And
I mean, yes, even if Hamas is probably stealing a lot of the food, but there's still people are still starving.
Well, that's
obviously not a good look.
There was a report 36 minutes ago from Financial Times. I was confirming this, but I had to get past the paywall to actually read it. You guys can read it too if you want from this. I remove paywall link I have in general, but a few paragraphs down into this article, Trump is quoted as saying, "My people are starting to hate Israel." Trump recently warned one prominent Jewish donor, according to Middle East expert.
I saw that earlier.
Yeah.
So
So that. Yeah.
Is Trump starting to realize the base wants something different? Oh, go on. Sorry, they were done.
No. I think Trump is trying to balance something. It's a very precarious position. He is the person that is kind of having to work alongside Israel at the same time. These other countries like the UK and like France and like Canada, they're able to do these things because they're not directly involved as much as the United States is. So he's having to balance this very precarious position of, well, if I do something like Palestinian recognition, Israel is just going to stop listening to anything I say whatsoever.
They already
and we're basically
Oh, come on.
to a certain extent. Now,
Well,
he
that's the
did
thing. I
get
mean,
the
Netanyahu is dead set on basically eliminating Gaza.
I think
That's
Netanyahu's the
the
fall
point.
guy for this. That's what I think's gonna happen. He's be the fall guy.
Well, he was supposed to lose anyways. He was about to, before the 12-day war started, he was going to lose his power in the next election, Israeli election, once non-confidence had passed and they had done a snap election. But he got to stay in power because he started a 12-day war. And I just want to mention, yeah, Israel does ignore us, but they did not ignore Trump when he said to turn those mother effing planes around. When they were about to continue the 12-day war and make it a, I don't know, two-year war. So
Yeah.
he did stop that. Um,
But still, it's one of
so
those things where I
mhm.
understand Trump's in a tough situation because you still got the boomer evangelical base a lot. You still got to deal with them.
Yeah, yeah, and Trump. I mean, Trump does listen to them, and he kind of has to if he wants more support.
Yeah, but at this point,
Yeah.
they're the only people that still like shill for Israel at this point. Everyone is like just saying
But
end the world, just end the war.
the ultimate stability
Especially the
for
young
this
people.
region, the ultimate stability for this region comes from Trump's first term Abraham Accords being expanded into multiple other countries. He has 4 countries on the table getting ready to enter into it. And so that is why Trump is in this situation. It's because he wants to expand the Abraham Accords. He wants to reestablish what he was starting in the first term. And the problem with that is that if Israel leaves the table while he's trying to do that, then he can't get any of that done, and then there's no peace. There's no any sort of semi-permanent peace here.
Yeah,
And so that's kind of the problem.
there's just something about this whole thing that just doesn't pass the sniff test. When you got Qatar and Saudi Arabia like telling Hamas to go away now when they've never said this before, I don't know. Ben
It's
Sinek's
because they've been promised money and they've been promised investment and they've been promised something. They're going to make money off of Gaza if the stupid war can end. That's why they're saying that.
Ben Sinek's has been a member for 9 months. They see YouTube will use AI to detect user age. I saw that should be illegal, but that's what they're doing now. They're gonna use AI and stuff. The UK is censoring a bunch of websites,
Well,
which
I think it's also probably in preparation of the new American law of which I think is basically the exact same as what.
we gotta stop that from passing. That's insane.
Yeah, we haven't talked about it yet on the program, and I don't want your audience to think that we've just been avoiding that. It's just that COSA is this really big topic. It could be its own stream in itself.
It probably will. But for those that don't know, basically the UK, they pass a law that's you can't use any website really. They know who you are. You have to give them ID and stuff. And listen, the idea, like on paper, sounds decent. Like, okay, you want to make sure kids are not going on like Pornhub or whatever. You know, you don't want to see you don't want that happening. But they're not just doing that. It's just like any website. Oh, go on.
You now need age verification to use Spotify.
Yeah.
You will need age verification to go on YouTube. You will need age verification. I think it was like for SoundCloud. It was like so these a bunch of services that have nothing to do with pornography are now requiring you to either take a picture of your face so they can guess your age, or they want you to take a picture of your driver's license, social security, like physical ID. Like they want not social security, but your physical ID. They want your information. This is a giant jump to scrape everybody's information off of the internet, destroy anonymity. That's the short end. Like we can have a very long conversation about this, but that's the short end of it. It's the destruction of anonymity on the internet. That's what the goal is. It has nothing like the point of it being called the Kids Online Safety Act or whatever it's called in the UK and in Australia. The reason it's called that is because it is the strongest defense for the like bipartisan tyranny that is about to be pushed upon you. That is why. That it's called. It's think about the children. Now give us your ID. You will never be anonymous again. You'll never get to hide any of your online traffic again. You're our bitch. That's the deal.
And I have another theory for why they're doing this because they're panicking. Like the globalists, what you want to call these people, they're panicking because these social media platforms are becoming more free speech over time. Like Twitter's not perfect, but it's got a lot of there's been some hiccups, obviously with Musk being a dumbass, but it's gotten better. My theory is they realize that there is an awakening happening, especially with young people. Like, young people realizing there's a lot of shit going on. And they're realizing that the only way to stop this is by making it possible for young people to see this stuff. That's
for anybody
my
in the
theory.
chat, for anybody in the chat that thinks COSA might be a good idea, or
It's
that
not.
I want to stop pornography. So listen, the United Kingdom is today, right now, withdrawing comments and commentary about immigration on the basis that it's not safe for children. You are withheld from discussing immigration in the United Kingdom, and it's an official topic. It's not like, oh, well, they just started randomly obscuring it. No, it is one of the defined topics to obscure in the United Kingdom. And I had to guess, if you ask them for an explanation, it's probably because all of their daughters are being R-worded by the immigrant. That's probably why they're trying. Oh, well, for children's safety, we can't talk about the realities of immigration. Yeah. So that's what you're asking for in the United States. That oh, well, Republican president won't do that. Well, you don't have a guarantee of having a Republican
Trump will
president.
probably. Actually, I don't even know if Trump will. I mean, even if Trump vetoes it, it would probably get overridden
No,
because it's got
Trump,
insane bipartisan.
I think freedom of speech is one of those things for Trump that he's not going to bend the knee on.
I mean, I could see him sign it, but I don't know. We'll see. I guess it probably depends on how extreme it goes, which I'm pretty sure it is. But either way, I mean, it did pass the Senate's similar bill. Or actually, I think it was the same bill, and then it died later on. It passed the Senate in 2023.
It passed
91-3.
91-3 in the Senate, and they brought it to the House, and it died in the House, and they've reintroduced it. And the problem is, and Mike Johnson has talked about COSA, and he's like, well, we got to make sure it protects free speech. Look, any version of this bill that passes, the point of it is censorship. Any version of this bill that passes is going to end up being used for censorship. Yeah,
just pass the laws they passed in like Texas for like restricting like explicit imagery, like porn stuff. Just do that.
But I think the other, yeah, but I think their logic is also that you have a lot of explicit imagery on the other sites.
Yeah, but like you're gonna find that shit everywhere on the internet. It doesn't matter what you do. If you dig for it, you're gonna find it. So
look,
which is probably why they want to, make every website 18+.
People don't like this. People don't like this, but if you want to stop pornography, if you want to stop the sex trafficking and the abuse of children that happens as a result of pornography, you actually have to just hate pornography itself, not the people consuming it. So what you do is you ban the major Southeast Asian countries that are disseminating, but beyond that, and then you actually punish very severely the people producing the material, the people that hold the websites, and the people producing the material. If you do that, then it'll go down into the black market, it'll go down into the deep web, and there won't be readily available pornography everywhere if you actually punish the people making it.
American Nerd for 5. If the U.S. somehow recognizes Palestine, it should be the one in the West Bank and not Gaza. The West Bank people are more reasonable. That's what would happen. It'd be the West Bank one, easily. Chance Razik has been a member for 2 months. Donald Trump saying base upset with Israel is proof he listens. Well, I think he understands the base is mad, but I don't think he understands why. I don't think he gets, like, the base is actually mad about this. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably not happy with the base over it. Because, I mean, again, Trump is a Zionist. I'm pretty sure he does support a one Israeli state. I don't think he supports Palestinian recognition. He may threaten it if, things get out of hand, but I don't think he's ever going to do it.
All right.
Unless there's like a deal or something, but we'll see. Probably not.
Scrap Scrobble for 5. If for some reason none of the IQ is suddenly deleted, does the political situation get better or worse in the Middle East? I think it's better. Because
it probably does, but Netanyahu's he's basically becoming a dictator.
I know, but the thing
he wants to stay in power until he gets what he wants, which is full control over all territory that was once owned by Israel. That includes the Golden Heights, that includes the West Bank, that includes Gaza, probably even includes the Sinai Peninsula of Egypt.
Yeah, and guys, for those that don't know, though, even in Israel, they're sick of this guy. But every time they're about to get rid of him, mysteriously some bullshit happens. Funny how that works, by the way. Isn't that funny how that works? Every time they're about to get rid of him, he's just like, oh, we got to continue with the stuff. You got to keep me in power. Emergency. Ben Cynics for 5. The UK also wants to ban VPNs, probably so that police unit can arrest you for being against illegal migrants. Yeah, now they want to ban the VPNs. Not good.
Yeah, that'll probably happen too.
Oh,
Um,
we got breaking news out of Gaza. We have breaking news out of Gaza from the Trump administration.
you know,
So, according to Caroline Levitt, President Trump tomorrow is sending Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Ambassador Huckabee into Gaza to inspect the food drop-offs, and they plan to send more. President Trump is a humanitarian with a big heart. They're going into Gaza.
there you go. Oh wow.
I mean, if Huckabee turns, which I'm not saying he will, but there's been signs that he's realizing there's a problem here. If you lose Mike Huckabee,
Maybe they throw him out. I'm just kidding. I don't think they would.
But the thing is, like, if you lose Mike Huckabee, you're done. He is like the #1 Zionist, and I like Huckabee, but he is.
It's mainly for biblical reasons, but yeah.
There's some the evangelical stuff is just Chance Jurassic for 5. I don't dislike Israel, but Republicans need to learn when to stop sucking up to them, especially because their younger voters are getting because their voters are getting younger, and that doesn't work for them. Yeah, the average young person does not give a shit about this.
Also in the news, Nancy Mace has basically declared a run for governor without officially declaring it. And I mean, I think she literally said America needs, or Trump needs America First governors in a announcement teaser. There's also the event that's coming up Monday, which is where she's going to announce, is being hosted by Nancy Mace for governor. So she is declaring.
She's running. And
she'll probably file today, tomorrow, in the next few days.
Okay, tomato for 5. I hate the UK law, but we do need to ban OnlyFans and porn in general via age restrictions and taxing the fuck out of those industries. Yeah, I mean...
we need to ban OnlyFans, but it will probably get struck down in the court.
No, just age verify it. Be like, yeah, be 18 plus. Doesn't matter.
All right.
That's my take.
Let's see what else.
That's the only way. And then you make it like, you put like 100% tax on it or something. I don't know.
Also, let's see, Trump was mad at Josh Hawley yesterday.
They talked that over. It's, from what I heard, it's nothing, but...
Yeah, and the other thing is that, I mean, Hawley's probably lucky he's up for re-election in 2030, so he'll be forgiven by then. Yeah. Grassley, on the other hand, he's up for re-election in 2028, which is still 3 years away. But he will be 95. And I believe Grassley's intention this entire time, at least up to now, maybe that's changed, was to die in office.
Yeah.
He wants to die in office. Trump might pressure otherwise. I think he's probably going to pressure him to retire or face the primary challenger due to his age.
Yeah.
Because, again, maybe it's not an age thing, because, I mean, Trump's old, and I don't think he's really a big term limits guy, but Grassley has been in office. Technically, he's been in politics since the 50s.
Jeez. Yeah.
He's been in political office for basically 66 years straight.
Man, he's old.
Which is older than many, many people, probably the vast majority of people in Congress.
Yeah, that's nuts. All right, everybody. So if you got any more super chats, any more questions, concerns, whatever, send them now. Last calls for super chats, folks. Last calls for super chats. Yeah,
I will say, though, if Trump's going to threaten a primary challenger, Grassley may just retire, because I think he also wants his grandson, Pat Grassley, to take the seat.
He might just make a deal with him.
Yeah, so he might retire by 2028, because, again, he'll be 95, which, I know Grassley wanted to die in office, but I guess it would probably be better if he retired anyways, because you don't want another Strom Thurmond in the Senate.
Yeah, you don't want that. American Nerd for 5. This is great to hear, as we should offer some aid. However, I'm worried that someone on their side will try something to them while they're there. Yeah, that's one concern, but they should be fine. They got security, so... we do also got breaking news from the same press conference from Caroline Levitt. She is saying that President Trump just amped up his work on Big Pharma, and apparently he has issued a new demand. And the Big Pharma companies now have until September to abide by it. If you refuse to step up, we will deploy every tool in our arsenal to protect American families from continued abusive drug pricing practices. Oh, John, you might like this one. So it looks like they're going after Big Pharma now, officially. Accordingly, I'm
See.
calling on Eli, Lilly, and company, and every manufacturer doing business in our great country to take the following actions within the next 60 days. Extend the most favored nation pricing to Medicaid. Guarantee most favored nation prices for newly launched drugs. Return increased revenues abroad to American patents and taxpayers. Provide for direct purchasing at the most favored nation pricing. Good.
Yeah. Also in the news, I actually do want to discuss more Texas redistricting because I'm a Texan and I want to do that. So I think I do want to I did address this in a tweet, so I want to address kind of some misconceptions that people had about the new map. Let me pull up my tweet here.
Yeah. So
I might even just send it to you.
what about Texas now? What happened?
I just want to address some stuff about the map, just some more stuff.
I think we got through that already.
Well, some more stuff that we didn't address. So, as you know, the 9th is one of the new red districts that was drawn. That does not mean Al Green's getting drawn out. It means he's now in the 18th district, which is currently vacant, but will soon be represented by Christian Menefee, who's, I believe, like a Harris County attorney. So I don't know if they're going to be bunked together. If they are, we might see an Al Green versus Christian Menefee primary.
Oh God!
Al Green, I believe, wants to serve for life because I think he doesn't want to leave Congress until he gets to impeach Trump. Menefee, maybe he'll run for something statewide later on. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Or maybe he'll run for county judge. Actually, he might run for county judge. That would be interesting. So yeah, Al Green's going to probably be in the new Texas 18 because he lives by the Texas Medical Center. Greg Kasar is going to be bunked with Lloyd Doggett in Texas 37 because the 35th is being technically is being drawn out because the 35th is now going to be a suburban San Antonio seat instead of a Snake. So he will now be bunked with Lloyd Doggett because they both live in Austin. Lloyd Doggett will be 80 next year, so he will probably retire if that's the case. He might have to run for re-election otherwise, because he's very popular in Austin. He's been in Congress since 1995. So Kasar will probably become the new representative for Texas 37. He gets all of Austin to himself. Which, by the way, they have downtown Austin now in the Texas 10th in the red district. If you heard about that.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, people are saying it's because Governor is so Abbott can be in a red district. That could be part of it, but downtown Austin also moved 20 points to the right from 2020 to 24. It went from D plus 40 to D plus 20, which is insane. In downtown of the most liberal city in the whole state, probably even whole South.
All right.
But yeah, that's the main thing. Also, Jasmine Crockett technically gets drawn out of her district, but she gets moved to Texas 33, which is going to be majority Hispanic. Don't mistake this as her losing her primary. I do not think she will. If she runs in Texas 33, she'll probably win the primary, which means a majority Hispanic district gets a black representative. She can still run in Texas 30. She just want to be able to vote for herself.
All right, logos for 5. Did you see that Trump announced a 90-day tariff negotiation period with Mexico? Yeah, I saw that. So we're going to trade deal with Mexico soon. That's a big one. Chance of raising for 10. I think it's possible Trump makes a deal with Palestine and the war. Keep in mind, Muslims zoomed right last year, and you have much more favorable and have become much more Republican favorable. You don't want to risk ruining those efforts. Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I don't think Trump's gonna. He's gonna do something to appease that base, but.
One more thing about the Texas map. Sylvia Garcia does not get drawn out. The 29th. A lot of her constituency is going to be the new 9th. But where she lives, which is kind of in like a triangle region that's like 70-80% Hispanic north of Houston, moved like 20 points right. She still lives in it, and she'll win. She'll probably win the primary there, and she'll remain the nominee. And that's one of the main critiques I have of the map. Probably the most right-trending part of northern Houston gets stuck in the Democrat seat.
Really?
Yeah, it's the area basically north of like Interstate 610. I can probably show you in one of my maps. Let me pull it up here. I think I have it.
For some reason, I have a feeling that Muslims won't keep moving right. Yeah, they're one of those voters that, you know, if you don't give them something soon, I think that's gonna blow up in your face, politically speaking. But I don't know.
Well, they've already, like, the marriage is already getting a little sour. We saw there was like this Democrat Muslim that was like arguing, was like, is there truly a space on the left for social conservatism? And like they're sitting there like, we gave you everything. We brought you over here. We let you have everything you wanted. We let you keep your little ethnic enclave, and we supported you just like gays and lesbians. Why are you betraying us like this?
Yeah, that's a
So
problem.
yeah,
Like,
no, I
they
think
may just not vote.
By the way, speaking of Democrat Muslims, Tim Walz actually endorsed Jacob Fry for mayor of Minneapolis.
I saw that, yeah. So that primary is gonna be a shit
Um,
show. It's gonna be glorious to watch.
I mean, I don't think it's actually a primary. I think it's a jungle. It may be a jungle primary
Whatever
or
it
just
is, it's a mess.
candidates. I don't know how it works. But I think Fateh is still going to be the favorite. Minneapolis is a very progressive city. And Fry, I would imagine Fry is unpopular. The party has endorsed Fateh. Walz has endorsed Frey. I think Fry is still going to lose, to be completely honest. But it might make it a little more competitive.
All right.
But again, Minneapolis, extremely progressive city. Extremely progressive. One of the most progressive in the country.
Chance Drazek for 2. By the way, Texan, you think Beto's going to run for governor again?
Maybe, I don't know. Also, Minneapolis uses ranked choice voting for the mayor elections.
That race be a shit show. So, all right, one more
I
super
think
chat.
I think Fateh will still win just because of the Zoran effect. Fry will probably get second place anyways. So I guess I support Fry, but this is a guy that's also basically literally sobbed at George Floyd's
Yeah, I
funeral.
remember that.
With his knee down.
Yeah.
And everything.
Gosh.
Like a little.
Scrap Scrabble for 2. These Jerrys aren't mandared enough for my liking. What? Oh, gerrymandering. Yeah.
Gerrymander. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not gerrymandered enough. But yeah. All right, guys. I do got to get going. But thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below. Subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. I think we covered everything. I don't think we missed anything. There will be a video out later today, guys, and something I want to talk about. But all right, we'll see you guys next stream, video, or wherever you see us at.
Oh wait, one last piece of news, and I think you're not gonna like this.
What?
Bots now account for over half of global internet traffic.
Of course it is. Great.
All right, now you can leave.
Yeah, it's old bots now. I saw that. All right, guys. Thank you all.